perform anymore. And that wasn't easy in those days. She was running around during the time of Petey Wheatstraw, who was able to conduct business on a high level in places like Arkansas when they was lynching Negroes. And so these things have to be addressed and expressed, not just for the simple fact of our counterparts understanding where we come from, but so our adults, older adults, young adults, and children could really reconnect and not allow the exploitation of our life and tradition and household to continue to take place. We are the biggest producer of music, film, and what have you, and we're also the biggest consumer of it, but we don't get paid off of it.
Yeah, there's only just a select few that get paid and have controlling interest, and sometimes I even wonder about some of the images that they put out. I'm thinking about people like Tyler Perry and some of the others, but that some people might even consider them an accentuation of or a continuation of the minstrel kind of shows and things of that nature. Rueben, if you're still with me, I was wondering, you have both kids and grandkids now, and I remember when we were growing up and going to school in Marquette, that was kind of the height of hip-hop. How are you addressing teaching your kids about music and things of that nature and just our culture, because you have both kids and grandkids?
Yeah, to be quite honest, I'm not as active listening as I was in the past, but my oldest son, I talked to him about the history of hip-hop from what I knew growing up in New York with Dougie Fresh, beatbox, and with Run DMC and all the old guys, Africa Bambaataa. And so I boast about, how that tradition was strong and how it was meaningful about life on the street, and it really represented what we were living, as young people. And so today, again, the music is a little different, but I give them the freedom to explore and understand music in the way that they want to do it. They like rap, and they like a whole lot of other things as well. But I don't force my point of view on them about that. I let them discover, and they always come back to our music.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. And Lamont, what are some of the programs that you're doing currently to try to get people aware about some of our music and some of the things that are going on in our society musically? I know that you've got a couple of things that you've done. You've mentioned the documentary, and, of course, you've got some plays and stuff. So just tell folks a little bit about some of the ways that you're getting that word out to the community, not just in New York, but I think you've also even traveled to other parts of the world as well.
Yes, so I have a lecture performance right now. Initially, it was called Blues Music is Black History, but the way it organically has taken wing, I would say, we've named it African American Tribal Music and the Black Experience, and this is a performance where it's me and 3 to 4 other musicians. We sit in a semicircle. We each play the style of our tradition, and we give dialogue depending on the size of the audience or the arena, whether we're in a more intimate place or if we're at like an amphitheater in a park. We can have organic dialogue with the audience. If not, we just, we make it work. And we give some history and as well as connecting the dots. To give you an example, the call and response, we can connect that from Bush meetings to the original black church to black spirituals to gospel, all the way to hip hop, shesheshaw. We give them different things like this, and then we all play. We have a young lady who is actually indigenous to the Americas, a black Indian, and she gets on her guitar and she gives you tribal songs. We have a brother in Guma Hill who comes out of the Amiri Baraka chamber, and he gives traditional protest songs and things of this nature. So that's one of the things we do. And of course, I play and present traditional, what you can call country blues, and then I give different lectures. I have a podcast where I discuss these things, and we have a show at the New Amsterdam Musical Association, which is 112 years old. Well, it's been there for 112 years old. It's actually older. The first African-American musicians union in Harlem. Well, in America, but it's based in Harlem. It's a nonprofit now. And I do a monthly show called Nama Blues and Poetry, where we all come and we do original pieces, and we pay homage to the Zora Neale Hurstons and the Muddy Waters and people like this. So these are the things that we're doing. There's stuff working for the future, but that's what we're currently doing now.
Okay, cool. That sounds really good. So if folks wanted to see either the podcast or they want to get in touch with you, how are ways that they can get in touch with you, Lamont?
If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me, Lamont Jack Purley at racefilmmusic.com. You can shoot me a tweet at Jack Purley. The website, jackdapperbluesradio.tv. And you can also see a lot of the content, whether it's original series or archived interviews, on our YouTube channel, Jack Dapper Blues Radio and TV.
Okay, cool. So hopefully folks will be paying attention to that, and they'll check out some of the shows that you've got and things of that nature. What are some of the things that you've learned in all of your work that has really shocked you in terms of what people don't know about the music that you expected to know, but it shocked you that folks didn't know it?
Wow, that's a good question. Yesterday I might have had a different answer, but today I interviewed a gentleman who's a very good guy and a great musician. He's a white guy, and he used to busk and play with a black blues musician in Harlem on the streets. I was very surprised at the amount of people that are. I don't want to say this sounded condescending, but scholarly, that take an educational study to our traditions and don't know that it's not 100%, 99.9% of our musicians that crossed over to legendary comes out of the church. It's amazing that so many people don't understand the connection of just black life and the church and music, and just everything that goes in between. That's what I could think of at the moment. It just kind of threw me for a loop, because just as a black person growing up in the household that I've grown up in and going to black church, just one with the other naturally. There was David Ruffin came out to church. This was evident. There was never a thought about this. Redman played drums in his church. These things were just evident to me. So it's small things like that for lack of a better term, that we may take for granted because it's just something every day. Most people, especially those who tend to study and give lessons on our life, don't seem to know.
One of the other interesting things, we were talking about division, like between the old guard politicians and some of our new guard politicians, but it also seems that with our music they try to create a division too, because a lot of times you'll have people that you were just talking about the parallels and the connection between jazz and blues and gospel, but then people will try to make it seem as if they are diametrically opposed to each other, even though we know that isn't necessarily the case, because a lot of times folks will be playing in the blues clubs on Friday and Saturday night, and they'd be playing in their church band on that Sunday morning.
That's right. That's absolutely right, and they do. And I would have to wonder if that compartmentalization is just based on the commercializing and making just exploiting and making money off of our traditions, based on what you guys were talking about when I called in. Because, the term the blues is not a black creation. We didn't call it that. That was just our music. It was corn ditties, it was reels. It was just what we did. Other people gave it these names. Hip-hop, rap is not a new concept. None of these things is new. This has been part of our traditions prior to those of us that came during the Middle Passage, and to those of us that was already here. This has always been part of our what we did, how we praised our God, how we worked. So it's an uphill battle that I enjoy, because I also learn new things. Because again, I take advantage of these things because you grow up in it, but it's also a little disheartening when you find out that the exploitation of your people by others and by your own.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I know we're winding down on the show and everything. Glad that you were able to call in, Lamont. One thing two real quick things, but one I got to get to Rueben and everything. Rueben, if folks want to get in touch with you at the Urban League, or just to get in touch with you, find out some of the things that you're doing, either with your business or just in general, how can folks reach out to you as well? Dean, did we drop him?
Yeah, I think he dropped. We got about 2 good minutes, but I think he already stepped on out.
He might have already stepped out, but it was definitely a great pleasure having Rueben Anthony, the head of the Madison, Wisconsin Urban League, on our program, as well as Lamont Purley. So I definitely enjoyed having him on, my old roommate, and hopefully we'll have him back on again. Of course, we will put his information online so folks will know how to get in touch with him if they want to reach out to him. As always in Pardon, we like to encourage people to listen to our show on a regular basis and to call in if they have important things that they want to say, and to join the conversation. I know next week we're going to have a gentleman that's a friend of mine who's a head of a whole movement of trying to get people into, I believe it's vegan lifestyle, not vegetarian lifestyle, but more of a vegan kind of lifestyle. But he's also made some observations just about society. So he will be our guest next week, so we're definitely looking forward to that, and you can find out more about him as we post information about him on our website. But definitely keep informed about what's happening in the news, keep informed about what's happening in our culture. That's one of the things that we try to do and encourage here on this show, and we definitely look forward to having more exciting guests on in the upcoming shows. As we like to say, we're just continuing to grow, and we're finding new and exciting guests all the time. So glad to have Rueben Anthony on and talk about Marquette, the school that we both attended, as well as what's going on there in Wisconsin, and, of course, have that dialogue with him, myself, and Dean about just what's happening in our society in general. So, Dean, you got any parting words real quickly, because we get ready to wrap this show up, and look forward to another exciting one next week. I thought we had an exciting one this week.
Oh, yeah, very exciting one, and we'll be back next Monday, same time, 7 p.m., blogtalkradio.com/Todd Jones The Voice. You can listen to the replay on Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, here at Blog Talk, and also at iHeartRadio. It is the six-man Dean Geronimo. I'm here in the studio with my man Mark Lee, and we appreciate all of you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you being on the show, those of you that were, and look forward to having another great one next week, and we'll see you then. Peace.